All right, everyone, ready to dive in? Today, we're all about you well. Really, your well-being.
Sounds right up my alley.
We're going deep on hygiene and wellness with this fantastic book.
Oh yeah, I was actually really impressed by this one.
It's by Dr. Ashutosh Dinendra.
Yeah. Written in Hindi, called The Knowledge of Hygiene. Essential tips for hygiene and health.
And let me tell you, it covers everything. Daily routines, what you eat, how you feel mentally.
It's all connected, right?
Exactly. So get ready for some simple but powerful tips to boost your well-being inside and out.
You know, it's funny. Most people, when they hear hygiene, they just think like washing their hands.
Yeah, totally.
But this book goes way beyond that.
It really does.
Dr. Dinendra emphasizes this whole holistic approach. It's not just physical cleanliness. It's about creating a healthy environment for your mind and body.
Makes sense. It's like trying to meditate in a messy room.
Yeah,
It just doesn't work.
exactly. You've got to have the whole picture.
So where do we even begin with this?
Well, chapter 1 jumps right into the foundation. It's all about the connection between cleanliness and health. And he really hits home that hygiene isn't just about appearances.
Yeah.
It's your first line of defense against disease.
Okay, so not just looking good, but feeling good and staying healthy. I like it. What kind of benefits are we talking about?
I mean, think about it. Washing your hands thoroughly, that can seriously cut down your chances of getting sick, whether it's a cold, a cough, or even food poisoning.
Wait, so like those 20 seconds at the sink could be all it takes to avoid getting sick?
It really can make a difference. And the book emphasizes all those daily essentials too. Bathing, dental care, nail care, clean clothes, all those little things really add up to big protection.
Right. It's the foundation.
Yeah, and you know, one thing that really stood out to me was how he talks about bathing. Like regular bathing, it's not just about getting rid of dirt, it actually opens up your skin pores.
Ah, so your skin can breathe.
Exactly. Helps your skin function at its best.
Like a mini spa treatment every day. Nice. What else in that section was interesting?
Well, he dedicates a whole chapter to hand washing.
Makes sense, I guess. Seems basic, but
It's more than you think. He calls it our primary defense shield, which I think is a great way to put it.
catchy.
He really highlights how vital it is, not just before meals, but after using the restroom, touching garbage, being around someone who's sick.
Like an invisible force field against germs.
Exactly. Make it a habit throughout your day. And speaking of things we might not always think about, there's a surprising connection between oral hygiene and overall health.
Wait, so there's more to it than just having a nice smile.
Oh, way more. Dr. Dinendra actually points out how neglecting your oral hygiene can contribute to some bigger problems. You might not even think they're related.
Like what?
Heart disease, diabetes.
Wow, okay, that changes things. So I'm guessing flossing is non-negotiable now.
You got it. Brushing alone, it's just not enough. Flossing gets rid of all those hidden food particles stuck between your teeth.
All right, I'm officially motivated to floss like a pro. So what about skincare? How do we keep our skin healthy and glowing?
He's all about washing your face twice a day, morning and night. No excuses.
Okay, sounds like he means business. But it's got to be more than just splashing water on your face.
Right. He's big on tailoring your routine to your skin type. Oily, dry, sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
They all need a slightly different approach.
Makes sense. And I bet he talks about sun protection, too.
Absolutely. Sun exposure can really do a number on your skin, so sunscreen is a must, especially if you're spending time outdoors.
Got it. Sun protection is key. Now, what about hair and scalp health? Any wisdom there?
Oh yeah, he gets into choosing the right shampoo and conditioner for your hair type, which is important.
Right, because we're not all created equal in the hair department.
And he's a big advocate for regular scalp massages. He even cautions against using too much heat on your hair, with the styling tools.
So put down the straightener and embrace the natural look.
Exactly. Heat can damage your hair, make it brittle, more prone to breakage.
Noted. Okay, so now on to nail care. Is this purely aesthetic, or is there a health connection?
It's definitely more than just looks. The book points out how easily dirt and bacteria can get trapped under your nails.
Ew, okay, I get it.
That can lead to infections, so trimming and cleaning regularly are super important.
I'm suddenly very aware of my nails. So we've covered a lot of external stuff. What about internal cleansing? Where does that fit in?
That's where nutrition comes in. Dr. Dinendra is really big on that. He makes this amazing connection between what you eat and your internal hygiene.
Internal hygiene, huh?
Yeah, like how a balanced diet keeps things clean on the inside, boosts your immunity. It's like giving your insides a spring cleaning.
Okay, I like that analogy. So what kind of foods are we talking about here? What does he recommend?
Well, fiber's a big one. Keeps everything moving smoothly, in your digestive system.
Ah, keeping things regular.
Exactly. And then he also talks about omega-3 fatty acids. Those are found in things like fatty fish, walnuts. They're good for your skin and hair.
So basically, load up on fruits, veggies, healthy fats. It's like nourishing your body from the inside out.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, clean food and water sources, especially when you're traveling.
Oh, yeah, food poisoning can really ruin a trip.
No kidding.
Right.
Dr. Dinendra definitely emphasizes being mindful of food safety. Speaking of environments, he also gets into household hygiene.
Makes sense. Our homes are like our little ecosystems, right?
Totally. He believes a clean home contributes to a clear mind. He even gives practical tips, like setting up a cleaning schedule.
Oh, see, that's where I struggle. I need more structure.
You too, honestly. It's so easy to let things pile up.
Exactly. So what else does he suggest?
Well, even something as simple as ventilation, like opening windows and letting fresh air in, can make a huge difference.
It's amazing how much of an impact fresh air can have. We've talked a lot about physical spaces. What about mental hygiene? Does he address that?
He does. And it's a big one, a whole chapter dedicated to it. It's often overlooked, but it's so crucial for your overall well-being.
Totally agree. Mental hygiene is something I'm really trying to prioritize these days.
Yeah, it's essential. Dr. Dinendra really stresses the importance of cultivating positive thoughts and, limiting exposure to technology, social media, all that stuff that can contribute to stress.
I know, it's hard to disconnect sometimes, but it's so important. So, besides limiting screen time, what does he suggest?
Well, things like meditation, yoga, exercise, those can all be really helpful.
Yeah, those are all great for stress relief. It's like hitting the reset button for your brain.
Right. And speaking of resetting, there's also a whole section on sleep hygiene.
Ah, yes, the importance of a good night's sleep.
Huge. He's a big believer in having a consistent sleep schedule. Like going to bed and waking up around the same time every day helps regulate your body's natural rhythm.
It's like training your brain to recognize those sleep cues.
Exactly. And then, of course, having a relaxing bedtime routine to help you wind down.
Any suggestions for that? What kind of routine does he recommend?
Well, things like avoiding heavy meals or caffeine before bed, making sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool.
Basically, create a sanctuary for sleep.
Exactly. And, since we're talking about routines, there's a whole chapter about maintaining good hygiene while traveling, which I think is super practical.
Oh, yeah, that can be a challenge. Any tips for navigating those hygiene hurdles on the road?
Well, first of all, he's got this funny little warning about the pitfalls of street food.
Oh, tell me about it. I've learned that lesson the hard way.
We've all been there. He really emphasizes being careful about where you eat and, always having hand sanitizer on hand, staying hydrated.
Yeah, traveler's tummy is no joke. Anything else? What about like hotel rooms and stuff?
Well, he even suggests those antimicrobial screen protectors for your devices.
Interesting.
We're constantly touching our phones, tablets, all that.
True, they're like germ magnets. Okay, that's a great tip. So, this might be a little personal, but does Dr. Dinendra address things like menstrual hygiene and, intimate hygiene in general?
Oh, absolutely. It's all in there. He dedicates a whole chapter to menstrual hygiene. He's very clear about the importance of using clean and safe products.
Makes sense. There's still so much stigma around that topic.
Yeah, and he encourages open conversations about it.
Yeah.
Women should feel comfortable seeking medical advice if they have any concerns. And he also talks about intimate hygiene in general, stressing the importance of keeping the genital area clean and dry.
All about keeping things balanced, right?
Right. He's against using harsh soaps or douching, things that can disrupt the natural flora. He gives specific tips for both men and women. Hygiene isn't just a women's issue, right?
No, absolutely not. Everyone has a responsibility to take care of themselves. Now, we've talked about personal hygiene, household hygiene. What about hygiene in shared spaces, like schools, offices, all that?
Oh, yeah, he gets into that. He talks about the importance of basic etiquette, like covering your mouth and nose when you cough or sneeze.
Common sense stuff, but so important.
Right, it's easy to forget. And he reminds us to be mindful of shared surfaces, especially during cold and flu season.
Doorknobs, elevator buttons, all those things we touch without even thinking.
Exactly. He even encourages us to advocate for clean and sanitary conditions in those shared spaces.
Right, it's a collective responsibility. It's not just about taking care of ourselves. It's about creating a healthier environment for everyone. Now, this might seem like a bit of a jump, but does he talk about the history of hygiene practices at all?
He does. There's a really interesting section on how our understanding of hygiene has evolved over time. He traces it from ancient civilizations all the way to the present day. It's fascinating.
I bet. It's probably come a long way. Does he talk about any like early pioneers of hygiene or anything like that?
Oh yeah, he highlights all the key discoveries and innovations that have shaped how we think about health and cleanliness today. It's really eye-opening. And he also explores how different cultures and social norms have influenced hygiene practices throughout history.
It's a reminder that our understanding of hygiene is always evolving, right?
Totally. It's not static. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever thought about how hygiene and climate change might be connected?
Hmm. That's an interesting one. I haven't really thought about it before.
It's something Dr. Dinendra brings up in the book, and it's really important.
All right, back for the final stretch of our hygiene deep dive with Dr. Dinendra.
We've covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
We have, from basic hand washing all the way to like the connection between our gut and our mental clarity.
It's amazing how much there is to learn about something we do every day.
Right. So what does Dr. Dinendra see for the future of hygiene and wellness? What's coming next?
Well, he's actually pretty optimistic. He sees this growing awareness of how connected everything is.
Like our physical health, our mental health, even the environment.
Exactly. It's all part of the same picture.
Yeah.
And from that perspective, he thinks we'll start to see some really cool innovations.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, think personalized hygiene solutions,
Yeah.
eco-friendly products, even technology that helps us monitor our well-being in ways we haven't even imagined yet.
Okay, so like, are we talking toothbrushes that analyze our saliva and tell us exactly how to brush?
Yeah, maybe. Or smartwatches that track not just our steps, but also our stress levels, how well we're sleeping, even our exposure to pollution.
So it's like having a personal health assistant right on your wrist.
Pretty much. And on a bigger scale, he sees healthcare changing too.
In what way?
More focus on prevention, more emphasis on lifestyle choices and daily habits that support long-term well-being.
So it's not just about treating illnesses after they happen, but preventing them in the first place.
Exactly. And hygiene plays a huge role in that. It gives people the power to take control of their own health.
I like that. It's empowering.
It is. It's like instead of being afraid of germs and getting sick all the time, we can focus on building a strong foundation of health.
Right, taking proactive steps. So remember how we talked about the microbiome, all those microorganisms living in and on us?
Oh yeah, we're basically walking ecosystems.
Right. So what does Dr. Dinendra say about how that fits into the future of hygiene?
He thinks the more we learn about the microbiome, the more targeted our hygiene practices will become.
Interesting. So instead of just trying to kill everything, we'll focus on creating balance.
Exactly. Supporting the good bacteria while keeping the bad guys in check. And that goes beyond just personal hygiene, too. It's about how we clean our homes, our communities, how we interact with nature.
Wow, it really is all connected, isn't it?
It is. And Dr. Dinendra leaves us with one final really important point.
What's that?
He believes that mental and emotional well-being will be the forefront of the future of hygiene.
It makes sense. We've focused a lot on the physical stuff, but taking care of our minds is just as important.
Absolutely. He sees a future where things like mindfulness, meditation, stress reduction techniques, those are just as routine as brushing our teeth.
That's a great goal, building that resilience, so we can handle whatever life throws at us.
Exactly. And technology might play a role there too. Think apps that guide you through meditation or online communities where people can connect and support each other.
It's really exciting to think about all the possibilities. It feels like we're moving towards a more holistic approach to well-being, taking care of our whole selves.
That's what Dr. Dinendra is all about.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really inspiring message.
I agree. It's inspiring and empowering. So to all our listeners out there, if you want to learn more about this, definitely check out Dr. Dinendra's book.
It's a great read. Lots of practical tips and really interesting insights.
And it leaves you feeling hopeful. Like you can really make a difference. It's not about being perfect. It's about taking small steps every day to build a healthier, happier life.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Stay clean, stay healthy, and as always, stay curious.